According to the Pew Research Internet Project, 74% of all adult online users use social media, and of that 74% of the age range from 18 to 29, 89% use social media on the daily basis. I recently overheard some people from the older generation saying that the people from the younger generation who use social media on a daily basis are actually being corrupted by it. But I actually don't believe that that is what the case is. I do know that there are pros and cons to social media, but I also believe that there are more pros than cons to social media. The first point is networking. So networking is an important part of life in general, regardless of generation that you come from. Now with technology, you can just like click an app, or like with a couple keystrokes of a keyboard, you can easily access a company, let's say Keller Williams, and you have an issue with your washing machine. And so then all you have to do is like, hey, I'm having this issue with my washing machine, how do I fix it? Like over Twitter or something, and then you can expect an immediate reply back. And so instead of like emailing or calling and going through all like the long processes that take maybe like an hour to get through, you can just have a quick and easy reply. So it's a really good way for consumers to talk to companies and get a very quick result. It also has a positive effect on professional as well as personal relationships between users. Professional-wise, let's use the example of a company and consumer like I just did, where the consumer can, let's say, make a Facebook post and they're like, hey, we're coming out with this new product. What would you say we need to improve on, or what would you say that we need to add to it to make it better? And so with that way, the company is asking for feedback from the consumer, and then the consumer can voice their opinions and feel like they're being actually like actively involved in the changes that the company will be making, so it builds bonds that way. Another thing that social media helps with is awareness, because a good way that social media does this is actually through Twitter and Instagram, and it's use of the hashtag, also known as the #, which is what it originally was. And through the hashtag, the point of it is that you are talking about a subject, and then you hashtag it, and so other people that are also talking about the same subject, all they have to do is look at the hashtag, and then all the people that have included that in their posts or their pictures or whatever have that listed, and so then they can connect with all those different people and talk about the same subject. It's also really good about improving education between people, because there are certain things like on Facebook, they promote stories, so whenever you're scrolling through things that are going on in your area of where you live or current events that are going on in your nation, they promote stories like that, so then you're like, oh, I didn't know that was going on, so then you can click in and further research it, and thus you're getting a better education because you otherwise would not have probably looked it up. Another thing is asking questions. You get a quick reply. It's a lot easier for people to do that, as well as students sharing information. So for the education purposes of that, students can contact each other and be like, hey, what did you do about this project, or what did you get for this answer? And then students that have other knowledge about things, they can pass it back and forth between people, so that's another way of better education. The last point is well-being. So the overall well-being of people is actually improved by social media due to the feeling of involvement that you get between connecting with all those people. According to socialnetworking.procon.org, social media can actually help improve certain cases of depression. So people who have social and anxiety disorders like depression, or who have like anxiety talking face-to-face, they actually their quality of life is improved because they're able to still feel involved but not necessarily be face-to-face, so that they don't have that anxiety about that. And so it overall improves their quality of life. So in conclusion, social media is actually doing the opposite of ruining our generation and the future ones to come. It's actually improving the quality of our life and how it will be for the next generation. So I encourage you to promote the benefits and the good parts of social media to everybody you meet. Thank you. Any questions?
So, have you applied any of these, or have you seen any of these benefits yourself in your social media life?
Personally, I am a big networker myself, and I use Twitter like probably a good majority of the time that I'm awake during the day. And it's a very excellent way to network between people. Let's say that I want to talk about just one type of science theory, and so then if I want to get answers or get other opinions from people, then I can just like go on Twitter or Facebook and be like, hey, hashtag whatever, can anybody help me out with this? And then I immediately get like so many replies from people who are also thinking and talking about the same thing. So I apply it to my daily life a lot. Anybody else? Yes.
You spoke about a lot of good aspects of social media, but I was a little curious to possibly what are some of the negative aspects that you didn't mention or from through your research that you found out were actually negative and kind of supported the other cause?
Some negative effects, I suppose, would be maybe a little bit of inclusiveness, just because you don't have to be necessarily face-to-face with somebody. For the most part, you don't really experience any negative effects besides, I guess, would be the lack of face-to-face communication, but that's not always a bad thing. Like I said about people who have depression and anxiety disorders and stuff like that, then it actually helps in their case. So there's pros and there's cons, but I do believe that there are more pros than cons.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.